programas, el mejor contenido y podrás escuchar nuestra señal online www.ecoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino. La mejor música, el mejor contenido y los mejores programas en la mejor Ecoradio, otra forma de hacer radio. Ey, Ecoradio con K. Ecoradio.com, otra forma de hacer radio. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales, en Twitter e Instagram como @Ecoradio y en Facebook como Ecoradio. Ecoradio, otra forma de hacer radio. Ecoradio.com. Siente el confort y la magia de todo nuestro contenido en tus oídos. Ecoradio. Ven, siéntate y escucha. Ecoradio, otra forma de hacer radio. Estás escuchando Ecoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino.
Entonces, César.
Adelante, Jorgen, estás al aire.
Listo, perfecto. Pues hoy estamos acá con varias personas muy interesantes. Estamos acá con Quality English, acá con Francis. Estamos acá con ASUS, que es un instituto muy bueno en Canadá. También estamos con LSI Portsmouth y también vamos a hablar sobre un poco del IELTS de hoy. El programa va a ser en inglés, entonces ya vamos a cambiar a inglés. So, we got here, as I said, we got Francis here from Quality English, and then we got Darren from ASUS, and then we got Emma with LSI Portsmouth. I think she's the director at LSI Portsmouth, am I right?
I'm a director. Lewis is also a director.
Oh, I didn't know that. So Lewis is an IELTS examiner. So we're going to have a candidate here that Lewis is going to evaluate, and then here we got Jonathan as well, who is the executive director of Quality English, if I'm right.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, and Francis, what's your role at Quality English? I can't hear you, Francis.
I'm the operations manager, Jürgen, for Quality English.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So we got quite a good team here today. Quite a few very interesting people. So I think you know me from beforehand. So I'm the owner of Instituto Nordico, and we work with quite a few institutes in the world, also with universities. In particular, we work a lot with the Nordic countries. We work with Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland as well, and also Ireland. And we're also going to start to work more with British universities. We signed an agreement with another agent. So we're going to start to work more with British universities as well. At the moment, we represent about 25. Yeah, we work with about 27 countries in total at the moment. And at the moment, as you can see, overall, this COVID situation is it's been quite hard being an agency, but we are selling quite a few courses that are online. So for ASUS, for example, sent quite a few students to ASUS in Canada. They're doing them online. So yeah, so here, as I say, today we got Jonathan, who now is going to speak a little bit more about what is Quality English, Jonathan.
Okay, thank you, Jorgen. Yes, so my name is Jonathan Swindell. I'm the Chief Executive of Quality English. I'm going to show you a presentation shortly, which kind of explains who we are and what we do, and why students in Colombia should select a Quality English school over other types of school. So if you bear with me for a second, I'm just going to share my screen and hope that this works smoothly. Okay.
Something is coming up. Here it is, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm just going to start the presentation.
Okay. Please.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, quality English and quality education. As you can see, we're an international brand. We work with independent English language schools around the world in English-speaking countries. So, what is an independent school? Well, an independent school is a small English language school that's not part of a chain. So, most of the schools are family-run, or they're run by the person who owns the business. They're all high-quality schools. We do our own checks on the schools when they apply to become a quality English school, and they also have to have their own accreditation in the country where they work. So in the UK, for example, all of our schools have British Council accreditation, and that's very important. But we do our own checks on top of that, and we get a lot of feedback from students and from the agents that the schools work with to make sure that they're the best quality schools. So a school will apply to become a quality English school, and if they're good enough and they meet our standards, then that's when we allow them to join. So just a few things about Quality English itself as an organization. Over the last few years, we've won a lot of awards for what we do, for how we bring schools and students and agents together. There are 70 quality English schools around the world in 9 different English-speaking countries. There are also 6 colleges that teach vocational and academic courses, again to international students. And we work, as I say, we work with agents. So you can easily find a good agent like Jorgen or other agents across Colombia who can help to facilitate, to help you as a student find a quality English school. And very recently, we were in Bogota, and we hope to return very soon to run an event. We run these international events which help to bring our quality English schools together with local agents to help you choose the right school for you. So, like I say, quality English schools are all over the world. Today you'll be hearing from one of our schools, from Darren in Toronto in Canada. We have schools in the US, in Ireland. You'll be hearing from LSI Portsmouth, a quality English school in the UK. We have schools in Malta, Cyprus, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. So you really can find a fantastic location, a fantastic destination for your studies. But also you can choose from schools that would be in a city or in a coastal, a beach location. So it's really up to you. There is a school for you out there. Here are just some pictures of some of our schools around the world, and it just so happens that LSI Portsmouth, who you'll be hearing from very soon, their picture is there on the middle right-hand side in lovely Portsmouth on the south coast of the UK. And there are some other schools here in Australia, the UK, Ireland, and the US. So what can you expect? Well, there's a wide range of courses that you can choose from at any quality English school. General English, academic English, business English, exam preparation for IELTS, for example, executive English, English for specific purposes. So if you're looking for an English course related to law or medicine, then you can find one of those very easily. We do juniors and young learner courses. There are summer camps, and then there are courses for teachers as well. So that's enough from me and from Quality English ourselves. I'll just end the share screen. And thank you very much for listening. And I'm now going to hand over to Darren from Access English in Toronto, one of our fantastic schools in Canada. Over to you, Darren.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. So as Jonathan was saying, I'm representing a fantastic school, part of the quality English community in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's called Access International Language Center. And we pride ourselves of being part of the quality English community for sure. But before I get to talk a little bit about our school, Access, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction in the IELTS test, because that's one of the reasons why we're here today. And I think a lot of the listeners might be asking the question, why would I want to take the IELTS test? There are so many options out there for English tests, and I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the fundamental reasons of why you should choose the IELTS test. And Lewis will probably be speaking a little bit later about a little more of this. The answer is quite simple. And number one, it will help you get into international universities. Many universities around the world ask for their IELTS and their admissions. So this is a huge reason why you should be thinking about the IELTS if you're thinking about studying abroad, particularly at a college or university. Number two, it's great for your career. So you might be out of university, you might be studying to improve your work situation. The IELTS qualification is recognized worldwide by over 10,000 organizations in over 140 countries. That's very impressive. Its standards are untouched. Number three, it's respected and accurate, which is a very important piece of the puzzle. The IELTS test assesses candidates on listening, speaking, reading, and writing, the fundamentals of all languages. Your results are also a very true reflection of your English abilities, which is a very important part of any test. Number four, it covers both American and British English, also Canadian English. This is important because candidates might prefer to have one of more than the other, in which case the IELTS test will prepare you to speak English in any environment where English is the primary language. And number five is something that I think most people don't always think about, especially students, is motivation. Candidates will be motivated to study harder, to be more focused and more intense with their efforts when they have a specific goal. The IELTS test gives you that specific goal. And through my experience as a teacher and educator, I found when students do sign up for the IELTS test, they really push themselves. Now, I've seen this time and time again at my school, Access International School, and I just want to briefly talk about Access as a school. We are part of the Quality English community, as already mentioned, and we're very proud of that. Now, our school is pushing our students to use as much interaction, conversation, and communication-based education as possible. We pride ourselves in our online courses that we're offering right now, which again, take our curriculum of interaction, conversation, and communication-based curriculum to the online platform. So our virtual classes are identical to our in-person classes. Now, if you do get the opportunity to come to Toronto, Toronto is an amazing city to come to. So we will welcome you in a Canadian style with big open arms. And it's an amazing place to be. It's the largest city in Toronto, in Canada, and it has a vibrant multicultural atmosphere. So if you can make it to Toronto, we would welcome you for sure. But please check out also online classes as well. And all the Quality English schools are offering amazing online programs. Now, Canada itself is also gearing up as well. We know this is a troubling time with COVID, and our school also has a COVID readiness plan. So when the time comes, when borders are open or that decision is made, you know that you'll have an airport pickup, an airport transfer, you'll have quarantine online classes. Quarantine will be arranged for you so that your transition into the in-person school will be flawless. So I hope that I've given you enough information today, and I hope my enthusiasm for studying abroad has really been projected to all of you. And again, thank you for your time, allowing me to speak. It's been a great honor, and I'm going to pass it over now to Emma.
Thank you very much, Darren, and thank you very much, Jürgen, for having us here. It's a bit of a first for me. This is my first time on Colombian radio. So my name's Emma, and I'm the marketing director for LSI Portsmouth. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our wonderful city and our amazing school. So firstly, a little geography lesson. Some of you may not be familiar with where Portsmouth is, but I'm sure you've heard of London. So you take London and you travel south for about an hour and a half and you reach the beautiful south coast of England, and there is Portsmouth. Portsmouth is the only island city in the UK, so we are surrounded by water. We're surrounded by beach, outdoor areas. Portsmouth used to be very well known for its history, for being the base for the British Navy. We have a lot of museums, we have a lot of very old historic ships you can visit. An example is the Mary Rose, which was Henry VIII's ship that was built in 1511. It sunk and it was risen again in the 1980s. So it's fascinating to go and have a look in the past. However, it's now known as a very modern city, as the waterfront city. With a world-class university, Portsmouth has a big student population, a thriving cultural and social life. It's a very vibrant university city. It has just 200,000 people, much smaller than Darren's Toronto, but it's big enough that there's something going on all the time, whether it's music festivals or kite festivals. We even have our own Comic-Con, but it's small enough that you can feel comfortable very quickly. And for our short-term students, that's very important, that you can walk to the school, that you can walk from your host family or your accommodation, that you feel safe and comfortable. So it's a very British, very friendly city. So that's Portsmouth. What about LSI? Jonathan mentioned that many of the schools in Quality English are family run. We were actually started by two brothers in 1985. We are also, of course, inspected by the British Council, and we are very proud that we received 100% in our British Council inspection. So we are the #1 school in the UK. We are joint #1 school with a couple of other schools in England, and they are also members of Quality English. We do an awful lot of different courses depending on your need, your budget. So that would be what we look at first. Why do you need English? So if you want to travel, to have everyday English, maybe you want to join our general English classes. Maybe you need to give presentations in English. Maybe you need to meet with your clients in different countries. So then we do business English courses. We are a preferred global supplier for companies like Siemens, like Bayer. So we help support them improve their employees' English. All of these courses are online at the moment, but we are also open for business. Something that Darren said, being COVID secure, this is what we are as well. We make sure that students feel safe in the environment of the school. And of course, they can quarantine before they come in our host families and join our classes online. So I mentioned we do general English, we do business English, but of course we do academic English. So this is what we're mainly talking about today. We do university pre-sessional courses to help students go to university. We are a testing centre for the Cambridge test. OET is for healthcare professionals, and IELTS. So we have been a testing centre for IELTS for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I was thinking about my time. 20 years. And most of that time, Lewis has been with us. So Lewis, who is about to talk, is a published IELTS author. He's written 2 books. He's in the middle of writing another one. So thank you. Hopefully talk to you all later. And here is Lewis.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Darren. Jonathan, thanks everybody. As Emma said, my name's Lewis. I am the Director of Studies and Teacher Trainer at LSI. And yes, I'm a kind of specialist in IELTS. I've been teaching IELTS for 20 years, not 20 minutes. And it's one of the things that we do best in our institution. And so one of the things we're going to do is just to give you a little example of the speaking test and how that works, and a little bit of feedback with a couple of students. Just not the whole test, but just a little element, just to show you how it works, and just to give you a feeling of the kind of individual attention and feedback that you would get if you were studying IELTS with us.
Yes. So here we got Daniela is now here with us, and she's our test candidate today. I think he's going to do the exams about 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks or something, Daniela. Daniela, can you please turn on your microphone?
Yes, sure.
Great.
Hi,
yes.
How are you?
Hi, Daniela. So we are here with, as I said, you heard, with Quality English here today, and 2 institutes that are members of Quality English. So it's quite a good mix here. So Lewis is the one who's going to test your English level. So he's going to go to the first part, and I think he was going to do the third part with you, and then we're going to evaluate you to check what would be about your level, what would be the score if you did the IELTS exam today. So Lewis, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah. Well, hi Daniela. Nice to meet you. So you're going to take the IELTS exam in 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yes, I'm going to take it in the middle of December.
Okay, so we will do, yes, as Jürgen said, a little bit of speaking part 1 and part 3, just to give a flavour of it. So, and then we'll do a little bit of feedback at the end. So let's begin with part 1. So let's begin by talking about sport. So Daniela, how often do you do sport or exercise?
Actually, not right now in the situation. You just like 30 minutes walk every day. Because makes trying to pick some from my living room to my room, but no.
Okay, and do you like to do exercise by yourself or with other people?
I like to do it by myself because I am kind of shy, so I don't like other people watching me trying really hard, because I try really hard when I do exercise.
Yeah, okay. And what's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite sport to watch, I think, is football. We Colombians are very football fans, so that one.
Okay. And let's talk about a different topic now. So let's talk about languages. So which languages do you speak, Daniela?
I speak Spanish, of course, and a little bit of English.
Okay. And when did you start learning English? How old were you?
I actually have never taken any lessons of English. I learned something in high school and in the university, but most of it at work, actually.
Okay, so tell me about that. How do you use your English at work? What kind of things do you do?
Well, currently I work at Samsung, so we have our headquarters in Korea and a lot of other subsidiaries, which we have to talk daily with them. So of course we talk in English. But the first one, it was when I worked in directly back in 2012. That was like the first time that I have to work with other people in English. It was the same case. The headquarters were in New York, so we have to talk with a lot of other countries, and the language was English.
Right, okay. So English is the international language of your company, basically. Yeah, very nice.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to some questions in part 3. So for those people who maybe don't know about the IELTS, the part 2 is a topic where you give a presentation for 2 minutes, which we're not going to do today, but that's part 2. And part 3 is a discussion based around that kind of topic. So let's discuss online shopping. What do you think are the main advantages of online shopping, Daniela?
I think one of the main advantages is the possibility to compare, because when you're in a physical stores, you have like to take a lot of time to, I don't know, watch these pants and these other pants and go to a lot of stores, and it takes you a lot of time. But when you are online shopping, you can like compare in minutes everything you want, different stores, different, I don't know, shoes, something like that, and it's really quick. So it gave you an opportunity to compare prices and products really fast.
Yeah. And do you think there's any, you talked about shoes, are there any products that you would prefer to buy in person?
I actually have struggled a lot buying clothes online, because not every brand has the same sizes, and sometimes you bought something that it doesn't fit you. So that one I think is the most tricky one. But right now, actually, the stores are getting more easy, the changing the things you bought. So I think it's getting a little bit easier than before, but that is the hardest thing, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Do you think there's any disadvantages of doing your shopping online?
I think in general has more advantages than disadvantages, but maybe there are some people, older people especially, that doesn't trust a lot in the payment methods, and sometimes the shipping takes a little bit longer, and people starts to think, oh my God, they robbed me, it's not going to be in my home or something like that. But personally, I think there are more advantages.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Daniela. We'll stop your section of the test there. That's very good. So a little bit of feedback. Yeah, great, very good.
Very good, Daniela.
So, first thing I would say, your vocabulary is excellent. Certainly, your vocabulary would be up there with a 7, I think. You had things like struggle, subsidiaries. You had things like tricky and shipping. There were lots and lots of nice pieces of vocabulary that would really, I think, get a 7 there. That was great. Second part, I think your pronunciation is very nice, very clear, very easy to understand. Yeah, a little bit accent like everybody, but your pronunciation is good. So I think that probably would be the same. I thought your grammar generally was very good. There were a couple of times, for example, you said some older people that doesn't trust the payment method, and that could be don't trust, should be don't trust. So, but generally that was very good. The one area I would advise you to work on between now and your test is in the first part to make your answers a little bit longer. I feel you would want for fluency. In part 3, you gave much longer answers, and they were really nice. It's quite common in part 1, because the questions are quite simple, that people sort of give quite short answers sometimes, but perhaps you could make that a little bit longer. So perhaps you would get 6 there for the fluency part on today's little test. So that would probably make around 6.5 total, which is pretty good, very good. But what I would definitely do is maybe just do a little bit of practice for part 1, slightly longer answers, slightly more fluency, but and that could get you up to a 7, I think. So well done.
Good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and good luck with your test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Daniela, you're at work, are you?
Yeah, I'm currently at work.
You're at work, yes, at the moment? Yes, okay, very good. So Lewis is a very interesting person. He's a book writer, and he's written quite a few books. How many books have you written, Lewis?
I've done 2, Jürgen. Yeah, I'm writing a 3rd at the moment, but yeah, two IELTS books, that's right. Yeah.
That's good. So, Lewis and Emma, are you having online courses at the moment?
Yes, so when the UK went into lockdown at the end of March, we moved all our courses online, and then we opened again at the beginning of September. So we welcomed students back to our school in Portsmouth, but we kept the online courses. So now we are doing hybrid. So in one class, you may have some people in Portsmouth, and you'll have some people who may be at home or in quarantine with their host family. So we're combining them.
And that is it's a very popular thing at the moment. And we got Cesar, who is the owner of this radio channel. He's actually studied with us. Darren, I'm not sure if you met him, but yeah. But Cesar, yeah, he did about 1 month, 1.5 months, even with you guys, and he really liked it. and that's quite interesting. Like people feel like to study online, I'm not sure, but the clients we have got, they want to continue. Which is a great result, and I think a lot of people don't think that it could be that good studying online. I think that's quite amazing. So when it comes to the online course with LSI Portsmouth, at what time is it? In the morning? Is it in the afternoon?
Do you want to take that, Lewis?
No, go ahead.
I'm happy to talk. So most of our classes are based around our UK timetable. They run in the morning and the afternoon UK time. So what's the difference? Is it 5 hours between us and Bogota?
Exactly, it's 5 hours at the moment. Yeah,
okay.
At the moment it's 5 hours, yes. Uh-huh.
So, for example, if you wanted to do a light general English course, it would be from 8:45 in the morning to 11:45. So, what's that? That's 1:45 to 3:45 in Colombian time. And if you wanted to do IELTS, it's a commitment. You want to get a good result. You want to get the best chance you can to go to university. Then you will be doing it all day. So all day UK time from 8:45 to 4 o'clock UK time. So 22 hours a week.
But you also got one class in the afternoon, am I right? Online in the afternoon?
So we have different courses in the afternoon. We have small business groups, so maximum 4 people doing presentations, negotiations, things like that. And of course, we do one-to-ones all day. So all our classes can run morning or afternoons, depending on which one you want. And the same, if you want to come to Portsmouth to do face-to-face classes, it will be the same timetable. So as Cesar has already studied with Darren, then we'll invite Cesar if he would like to come and study with LSI Portsmouth in Portsmouth or on our one of our online classes.
Yeah, because another good thing now is that the visa for UK are changing. It's going to be a bit easier to get a visa to go study in UK. I would think it's very good. So you can get a visitor visa for 6 months, and then you can go and study on different institutes if you want to, which I think is a brilliant thing.
I'm sure you can do a tour of quality English schools, Francis.
Yeah, definitely. Our schools would be very happy to welcome students from Colombia and from Bogota. If I may say a little bit about online courses. So when all the schools had to close in March, our schools delivered their courses immediately online. So all of our schools, as Jonathan said, have accreditation. The teachers are very experienced. If you join a Quality English online course, then you know that you will be in an international class. I was speaking with students today, and they now have friends in Russia, Japan, in Italy. So you still have the same atmosphere in an online class that you have online as in an online class. So the teachers are very experienced. The activities are very good fun. You make friends online, and also there is a personal service. I know that in Colombia and other countries in Latin America that there are big online courses, but people feel very alone. But with the Quality English School, they are part of a community. You make friends. The teacher knows you. They know if you're good at speaking or if you have problems with writing. They will help you with this. You have a test when you arrive, so they know what level you are at. And then also you have a regular progress report and recommendations from the teacher of how you can improve your English. So yes, we know that online courses will remain for some time for now, but the Quality English Schools are here to welcome you and to help you to progress your education, to help with your career. Many of the schools also offer online English for lawyers, for legal professions, for engineers, for nurses, for doctors. So there's a whole range of courses that students can study online. So yes, if you have any questions, please contact Jürgen from Instituto Nordico, and he will help direct you and find you to the course that you know. So thank you very much, Jürgen, for this opportunity.
Jürgen, Francis, Lewis, Emma, yo estudié en Canadá con el Instituto Access. Fue una experiencia maravillosa. Los felicito, realmente hacen un trabajo espectacular. Claro, yo soy un estudiante retardado en inglés, pero me sirvió muchísimo lo que estudié y la idea mía es volver, es decir, seguir estudiando. La experiencia fue maravillosa, síganlo haciendo online porque realmente es muy, 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 muy chévere. Los felicito por el gran trabajo que hacen.
Muchas gracias, Cesar. So Cesar, as we know, studied with Darren's school Access, and he was saying that he had a fantastic time, that he congratulates us on the work that we are doing, and he hopes to return. So thank you, Cesar.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Cesar.
Can I say something about online teaching?
Yes, please.
Yeah, from a teaching point of view, it's very interesting. So, yeah, before March, I personally and most of my colleagues had never really done much online teaching. And I asked myself, what's it going to be like? You know, is it going to be as good? And the thing that's been really interesting is in some ways, there are certainly some advantages. Obviously, it's a nice thing to come to the country, and that's probably the best way to do it. But you find that you can get more done. You find that for the student, it's more flexible, more comfortable because you're sitting at home doing your class. I mean, you can have a coffee during the lesson, which you can't do in a normal class. You can also record parts of the lesson, watch them again, which is really useful. And one of the things that we do is every week we have an individual online tutorial chat with each student to see how they're progressing and see how we can help them improve. And I'm sure it's very similar in Darren's school. So I've been very surprised, genuinely, as a teacher, how good a learning experience it is. And actually, the exam results that my students have had have been the same as when they were teaching face-to-face, more or less. So I'm genuinely a fan of online teaching. There are many, many advantages to it, particularly in the current climate.
And if I may add to what Lewis just said, our school prides itself, as Francis was saying, as all quality English schools do, with our small class sizes. And the most important thing that any student needs to think about is talking time. If you are in a school that has extremely large classrooms, it doesn't matter if you're there in person or online learning, you will not get the adequate talking time you need. So one of the benefits of going with quality English schools, access included, are just the fact that you really get the opportunity to speak with students from around the world, but your voice is heard every day. You really get the practice time. And that's the most important thing that any student needs to think about when you're making that choice of a school in the future. So I know in Portsmouth and in Toronto here, we pride ourselves on that for sure. Yeah.
If I can add, sorry, Jürgen.
Yeah. So Darren, you also got the IELTS and TOEFL preparation as well online, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, we do. Yes, we offer both the TOEFL and the IELTS preparation. Absolutely. We do business courses as well. We offer private classes for students who don't feel comfortable with being in a classroom. We always do try and move our private students into classrooms gradually, depending on their comfortability with that situation. But generally, we find our students are really loving our classrooms. And as Lewis said, you know, a lot of teachers around the world were a little bit shocked and, you know, had to pull up their socks, so to speak, to, you know, improve their skills in the virtual world. And I think that all the staff in Quality English has really done a great job. They've really just adapted to this new virtual platform. and they're embracing it, they're flourishing in it, and it makes me proud to see my staff, all the teachers that I train, who are doing so well. We have weekly meetings. We update each other on new online platforms, on new skills, on new strategies. So we're always informing each other on new things that can just help us become better teachers. And of course, that corresponds to having your students be better students, for sure.
Well said.
And I think, Darren, what you're saying there is that each student is individual. I know on the big online courses in country, so in Colombia or in Brazil or in Russia, there are these big classes that people think, that they're cheap, and they think they will be good, but the students don't feel special. With the quality English courses, the teacher knows you as an individual. They will know you. They will encourage you. If you're shy about speaking, they will help you. If you have difficulties with listening, they will help you. So every student is treated as an individual. And as Darren said, the teachers have many years of experience with working with students from everywhere around the world. And also it's a very important part for the teachers at a quality English school that they have constant training. They are having new personal development lessons of how to be the best teacher to give you the best courses to help you improve your English, your education and your career. So no, I'm really proud of everybody, and I'm doing everything I can to help the schools at this time.
Jorgen, en Spanish, quiero saludar a varias personas que están conectadas desde Chile, que están desde Ecuador también, a través de www.ecoradio.com, y obviamente saludo a todos los que están conectados desde Colombia en nuestras diferentes plataformas. Estamos también, les recuerdo, a través de Facebook de Ecoradio y Facebook del Instituto Nórdico, y a través del canal de YouTube de Ecoradio. Excuse me one moment, please. I just got scolded for not speaking in English. Please excuse me. I'm not the best student. Sorry.
César, ¿tenemos alguna pregunta?
No, Jorgen, no me han preguntado todavía nada, pero sí me gustaría preguntar algo. En el caso mío, que hice un nivel y quiero volver, ¿la certificación también se puede hacer virtualmente o eso tiene que ser presencial? Cuando uno necesita presentar el IELTS, el IELTS es el examen, ¿no?
IELTS.
IELTS.
So IELTS is quite, I'm not sure if you understood the question, but he asked, can you do IELTS or TOEFL, IELTS exam online at the moment?
That's a good question. Yeah, I understood from my old days living in Spain a long time ago.
Okay.
Yes, there is, in terms of IELTS, many of the test centres are actually open at the moment. So, for example, we are an IELTS test centre. We are open for tests. The face-to-face tests are still working. That's probably the same in Colombia. But IELTS have introduced something new, which is called the IELTS indicator. And the IELTS indicator is a way of doing the IELTS test in your home, basically. So it can be done from home every single week. There are tests available. And you do the speaking as now. You do the speaking in a real test with a person. It's not a computer test. It's like a little bit what I was just doing with Daniela, and the rest of the test is exactly the same. So yes, you can use the IELTS indicator, and that's been recognized by universities and employers all over the world. So yeah, it's a good question. Yeah.
I think it depends a little bit on the university as well, but yeah, quite a few universities are accepting it at the moment. It's getting more and more popular.
Yeah, the number of universities accepting that is increasing. And of course, if the test centres are open in where you live, you can do it there. But I know that the University of Portsmouth, for example, accept it. So, and many others. So you can do it, yeah.
Just to say, we did a blog post on the IELTS indicator a few weeks ago, probably months now, Lewis.
That's right.
But we link to a list of universities that do accept it, certainly in the UK.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So is the IELTS indicator popular in Canada as well, Darren? Do you know?
It is becoming more so, especially during these times. As Lewis was indicating, the preference was definitely to study in school, but because of COVID, many students are moving to the online platform to study and take the IELTS tests. And as Lewis was indicating, more and more schools are accepting the online IELTS test. And in Canada, we're seeing academic institutions increasing as well with accepting visas. So that's looking very promising as well. So we're very optimistic about the future. And I think there's so many amazing online opportunities right now, though, for students. But again, I think they really need to focus on what's important to them as an individual student. And I can't stress enough that what quality English schools offer a student will surpass any of their expectations for sure.
Jorgen,
Well, yeah, sí.
Jorgen, me parece que sería interesante para que nuestra audiencia en español, los que no hablamos mucho inglés, de pronto hacer un pequeño resumen de tanta información tan importante que han brindado hoy. Me parece importante hacer un pequeño resumen. ¿Te parece, Jorgen?
Perfecto. Yo creo que Francis puede hacer como un resumen por encima de lo que hemos hablado hoy. Y más
No presión, no presión, gracias. Yo sé que mucha gente que quizás han entendido o han entendido un poco, pero es muy difícil de concentrarse mucho tiempo como este. Pero nos somos muy agradecidos de tener esta oportunidad. Pero como mi jefe ha dicho, mi director ha dicho antes, que Quality English tenemos 70 escuelas en todo el mundo anglofón. Y sí, todas las escuelas tienen buenas acreditaciones, hacen cursos online, en grupos pequeños y en grupos internacionales. Y los estudiantes conocen a mucha gente por todo el mundo, tienen buenos amigos ahora. Y hemos hablado hoy de IELTS y cómo IELTS, el examen, puede ayudar a los estudiantes en su carrera para entrar en educación. Y también ahora acabamos de hablar de los exámenes online, que hay algo que se llama IELTS Connect, IELTS, what's it called?
Indicator.
IELTS Indicator, que los estudiantes pueden hacer online, pero es reconocido por universidades, por empresas, y que es una buena oportunidad en este momento en el mundo para que la gente pueda adelantar su carrera. Y sí, pues aquí tenemos dos de nuestras escuelas representadas. Aquí tenemos Darren. Sí, Darren de Access International en Toronto, y tenemos Emma and Lewis de LSI en el sur de Inglaterra, solamente 1 hora y media de Londres. Y sí, Lewis es un instructor de exámenes de IELTS y acabo de hacer una prueba con un estudiante, Daniela, y Daniela es estupenda. ¿Cómo es? Sí, pero no, que 6.5, 6.5, 7, pero cómo ha hecho la confianza pero no, muy orgulloso de ella, de vosotros, y sí, que como he dicho, que Jorgen de Instituto Nórdico es un agente reconocido por Quality English y él puede ayudaros todas las preguntas de cómo viajar, ayuda con las visas, y sí, que ayuda con los viajes y puede recomendar las escuelas mejores para vosotros. Pues estamos aquí para vosotros, para ayudar, y nuestro punto de contacto en Colombia es Jorgen. Y como ha dicho César, que si quiere escuchar otra vez, este programa es en YouTube, Facebook Eco Radio y también en Facebook Instituto Nórdico. Y sí, estamos aquí para ayudarlos. Y mucha suerte a todos con sus estudios y sus carreras.
I'm going to study a lot more. I promise. I promise.
Cesar.
Jorgen, recordemos las redes sociales del Instituto Nórdico y la página web del Instituto Nórdico para que las personas puedan acceder fácilmente al instituto para que contigo puedan realizar sus estudios.
Claro que sí. Sí, nuestra página web es www.institutonordico.com o también pueden escribirnos por WhatsApp al 311-477-4788. Así pueden comunicarnos con nosotros. Y para nosotros, Quality English es una organización increíble. Los dueños todavía están trabajando en los institutos por lo general. Entonces el contacto es increíble en Quality English. Lo conocen a la mayoría de los estudiantes por el nombre, no es un número en la contabilidad, sino es una persona cuando estudia en una escuela que hace parte de la organización de Quality English. Y por eso me encanta Quality English. Que hemos recibido ninguna queja de un estudiante que sea en una escuela de Quality English, nunca. Y por eso estamos muy contentos de trabajar con las escuelas de Quality English. Una organización increíble.
Gracias,
no sé si
Jorgen.
Bueno, con gusto, Francis. ¿Tiene alguna pregunta, César, o no?
No, Jorgen, yo simplemente quisiera decir thank you very much for having been in Eco Radio. I hope it's not the last time. Welcome.
Gracias, Cesar. Thank you, Jürgen.
Thank you, Cesar.
Thank you very much, everyone.
So everybody, it's for a good evening for some of you. For us, it's a good afternoon, but lunchtime here in Colombia. Like buenas tardes, buenas noches, de pronto buenos días también para otros. Y con eso ya terminamos nuestro programa de hoy con Quality English, LSI Portsmouth, con ACES y con Quality English. Espero que puedan estudiar en una de las escuelas de Quality English más adelante. Listo. Entonces terminamos el programa de hoy.
Jorgen, muchas gracias de verdad a Darren, a Lewis, a Emma, a Francis. Muchas gracias por haber estado en Eco Radio. Les recuerdo que este programa con el Instituto Nórdico pasa todos los martes a las 12:30 del día, a la hora del almuerzo, para que aprendamos más y veamos que hay muchas posibilidades para poder aprender otros idiomas, no solamente inglés, porque como lo pudieron ver son instituciones que brindan muchas oportunidades y muchas facilidades. A todos, muchas gracias. Sigan conectados aquí en www.ecoradio.com y no olviden, Ecoradio es otra forma de hacer radio. Chao, chao.
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 Ecoradio.com, otra forma de hacer radio, una emisora diferente, con contenido especializado. Sigue toda nuestra programación en www.ecoradio.com. Ecoradio.com amplía sus fronteras digitales. Por eso te invitamos a que te suscribas a nuestro canal de YouTube, Ecoradio. En donde encontrarás los mejores programas, el mejor contenido y podrás escuchar nuestra señal online www.ecoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino. Ecoradio.com amplía sus fronteras digitales. Por eso te invitamos a que te suscribas a nuestro canal de YouTube, Ecoradio, en donde encontrarás los mejores programas, el mejor contenido y podrás escuchar nuestra señal online www.ecoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino. El mejor contenido, los mejores programas y la mejor música suenan en www.ecoradio.com. Ecoradio.com, otra forma de hacer radio. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales.